Do we live in a digital mind prison? Dr. Robert Cassar, eartheracademy.com. Do we live in a digital mind prison? Remember, people don't even know what digital even means. They know they get it on their electronics. They get it, through their stereo system. Digital mind prison. Well, let's just think that everything that's electronic, everything that flies through the air, everything basically that you love, or we love, okay, is run on the digital. So think of digital as an artificial way of running information, running things that actually look real. So think about this, the digital revolution, okay, is a electronic revolution. You can call it a artificial intelligence revolution. You can call it using a interface that is not human. No, it's not. Okay, so let's get into this. So, do we live in a digital mind prison? Well, most of us live in a digitally, you can say, overtaken terrain. Wireless, remember, cell phone towers, Bluetooth, wireless doorbells, security systems, everything that is on the 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, 5G coming up, everything that flies through the air, including AM, FM, shortwave, okay, all bands known and unknown that can fly through the air. Remember, all these codes or switches in the air are, what are they? They're digital. They're pulsed. Pulsed technology. Your phone is pulsed technology. So, what does that mean? Well, do we live in a digital mind prison? How much do you stare at your digital mind babysitter? How much time do you spend? Think about it. How much time do you spend staring into this artificial interface? How much time do you spend really listening to digital music? How much time do you spend watching, okay, information that comes through an artificial interface? Think of it. What do your eyes see? Do they see more real things? Or do they see more, artificially simulated? It's dry in the car. I should have drunk some water before I started here. So, let me let some air here. So this is what it is. Look, the digital mind prison is just like Morpheus would say, it's a prison for your mind. It's invisible. You cannot feel it, hear it, touch it, or smell it. No, you can't. But you can hear it. Yes, you can. Watch our videos on RF frequencies so you can go ahead and hear what it sounds like to live in this digital prison. Remember, it's a digital prison for your mind because you spend a lot of time looking into this magical screen, right? For anything. I don't care what it is. What are you really doing is the question. Are you accomplishing anything besides psychobabble? Are you learning anything besides being maybe indoctrinated? Okay, in many ways. So you got to really think this through. Do not we live in a mind prison? Well, we all do. Right? We only know what we know. We only know what we see and experienced. But do you or we live in a digital mind prison? Remember, you stare at the computer screen. You stare at the television. You listen to all this artificial. You don't see the person playing music. You listen to it in stereo. You listen to it on the digital interface. Better than real. You watch the plasma televisions now, backlit, and it is better than watching the real thing, isn't it? Is because the interface actually makes it look more rich. It gives you more excitation to look at this digital world versus the natural world. It's like having foods that are artificial. They taste really good. Who cares what they're, if they're good for you, but they do taste really good. So the artificial chemicals taste better than the real ones, okay? The real natural things. Yes, they do. is because they're made to go ahead and excite your neurological system in ways, of course, the natural kingdom cannot do. You can when your body's clean and your sensors are activated, but once they get compromised by having a lot of different types of chemicals in your water, in your air, in your food, causing your system to now short circuit on the natural world. Remember, the digital world is unnatural. The natural world runs on a non-pulsed technology. Ancient technology runs on non-pulse. That means it's not tut, 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 tut like a woodpecker. Remember, your phone does 2.4 gigahertz. Okay, what's that mean? 2.4 gigahertz. We've talked about this many times. That's 2.4 billion. A gigahertz is a billion per second, so 2.4 gigahertz, 2.4 billion per second flying through the air. Flying through the air when you watch HD television, flying through the air when you hear anything through the interface. So, anyways, just to let you know, guys, do you live in a digital mind prison? I'd say if you're watching more than 4 hours of anything on this interface, then you're not only living in this digital mind prison, but you're also addicted to it. You're getting your dopamine. We've done many videos. Look up, have you had your dopamine today? Have you? Did you get your likes today? Did you get your endorphins from just having someone say hi to you, since you're basically a technological recluse? Well, that's what happens when you use all this artificial interface, is because it's all running through the air. There's no personality to it anymore. It's all fake, as you can say. I know it works, but does it work like you want it to? I'm not talking about the electronics. I'm talking about the communication. There's nothing better than to be able to look in someone's eyes and to look into them and see their expressions, to be able to actually maybe interact in a personal way versus impersonal way, which is the digital interface. All of us have lost our personality because that's what happens when you have a lot of digital mind prison. Remember, all the stupid things we watch on this interface is just total waste of time. I don't care if it's pornographic, Messenger, with Facebook, with basically everything and everything, just to be able to show somebody that maybe you're doing something better than they're doing, or maybe to show them, I don't know, something that you just want to show them, okay? And you're only doing it for them, for the interface of artificiality. So, do we live in a mind prison? Yeah, we live in a digital mind prison, and this digital mind prison won't let us see beyond this cube. Okay, this well, you can call it the recalcitrant mind. Recalcitrant. It means it's really hardened. That means it doesn't want to be flexible in any of its ideas, any of its ideologies. It doesn't want to really have a different perception other than what all your other friends are herded into, this sort of collective Borg consciousness. This is what this machine does. It turns you into a machine, which is sometimes a good thing. I can close my eyes now and type 100 words a minute, so I'm part machine, because just, I don't know, not even, well, 2 years ago, I was a pecker typer. Bink, 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 one finger at a time, trying to find the R on the keyboard. Now I close my eyes and I can actually use this interface. I don't know how to use it, but it uses me in a good way. Remember, the digital interface, it's a mind prison if you're not using it for, I'm talking education, not indoctrination. And how do you know what's indoctrination versus education? Education, of course, is, well, that means you're going to have some critical thinking, is because just because someone said it's so doesn't mean it's so. Remember, that's a big thing for most millennials to understand, that just because it's on Google, just because it's on social media, just because someone made a video about it, doesn't mean that it is so. Isn't it so? Anyways, so do we live in a mind prison? Yeah, if you're staring more than 2 hours a day on this machine, you got problems, unless you're using it for good. You're using it for good, not for just wasting time. Remember, you're wasting your time. You only have so many breaths. I just turned 58 years old a couple days ago on March 27th, even though I'm 8 months older because I was in mama's womb breathing Well, I was breathing liquids as an amphibian 8 months before. So I'm almost 59 right now. But like I said, look up when I turned 56 years old, Dr. Robert Cassar, 56 years old birthday. But I'm going to go over how you can figure out how to check and see how many breaths old you are. And what does that mean? Well, right now I'm at about 550 million breaths at idle speed in my sojourn so far. Has my time here in this realm been positive? You bet. Have I done more construction than destruction? You bet. Did I have to catch up from when I was a child and a teenager because I was a destructor? Yeah, I did. Okay, remember, we're all here doing some form of either nonsense purpose or something that makes a lot of sense purpose. Anything you do that helps the realm out, the realm, this place we live on. And remember, this is called the mystery plane for a reason. Nobody knows a lot of things about this place. And what you've been told, of course, could be a good story, like most of the stories as we've talked about in many of the other videos. What do you believe in, okay, is a big question. So anyways, a lot of the electronic mind control is because of the sedative feelings that I get. I'm going in right now into Hilo, and I've got myself some protective gear on right now. What do you think that is? I'm going to protect my gonads. And girls, you got gonads too. They're just 6 inches higher than my testes, which are my gonads. Those are my reproductive organs. Those are what make me so I can stay male. Okay? And that's right, to stay a male. I don't want to turn into a female. Why would I want to? Okay? Is because I want to keep my masculinity, so I want to protect my boys. So I have RF frequency underwear to protect myself from microwave transmissions. Now, as soon as I get into town, a couple more minutes, I'm going to let you hear, again, the noise that my body hears, but my mind cannot hear. It cannot sense, even though mine does. I hear this whine, this noise, this orchestra sounding like an electronic insect. It's just what it is. I go into Wi-Fi, I can feel it in my face right now. I'm about a quarter mile into the city. And all of a sudden, here it comes. Boom, okay? The feeling of what? This weird wave of thickness that's going over my face right now. It's going over my head. And this is where I feel sedated when I come here. I get hungry when I come here. I'm not really hungry. I'm actually just irritated in my chakra of my plexus. It's irritating the way I feel. Is because these waves irritate the way I feel. And if I don't feel good, I don't really want to do a lot of good. And I got a lot to do today, right now, doing some errands. So now I'm coming into this place, which of course is flying energy everywhere. Everywhere. Remember, we live in an energy exchange planet. Everything exchanges energy with everything in the natural world. But this world that I just walked into, and it's just a small little town, 800 people per square mile. Again, watch our video on RF frequencies. What do you think happens when you live in 8,000 people per square mile? Okay, like Los Angeles, or 17,000 people per square mile, population density. Okay, I don't think that's too good. Okay, to live in all the wireless, in all of the things that are flying in the air. So, again, you know, I feel sedated right now. I feel sort of washed out. And I see everybody on their phones walking around, watching some homeless people right now, poor guys, and they're mental. They're not homeless because they want to be. No, they're not. They're homeless because they've got some problems in la cabeza. It's just what it is. Okay? And this system of suffering, as you can see, for most people, it's not a system of love. It's a system of suffering for most people, generally. And most of the suffering I see is because we have lost our way to the artificial world. Remember, the unnatural world is man. And it's a beautiful place. But you better get out in nature and away from all of this unnatural energy, which is pulse technology. Remember, nature's energy is a sine wave. Look, I breathe in and out. Okay? And our energy, it's pretty simple to understand this, pretty logical and reasonable to understand that we are not symbiote to pulsed technology. Pulsed waves. Why? Because they're not natural. So if they're not natural, let me take this thing off here. If they're not natural, then what are they? Okay, let me show you my underwear. Okay, these are my RF frequency underwear right here. And these are made up of 42% silver on the inside lining, okay, with some cotton and maybe a couple other materials. But this is going to protect me. And I've done a video I'll put out in a little bit because I'm buying a bunch of different of protectional products that they want to sell us to protect our bodies against microwave transmissions. So I bought several of them. I can tell you the one I'm going to wear right now, they work good. They protect 100% of the microwave transmission because I'm in microwave transmission right now and I don't want to upset my testes. No, they're very sensitive. My brain's very sensitive. I can feel my brain tingling right now. Remember, I'm in this little place right now that's only got 800 people per square mile. Okay, I'm not on my phone as far as being on. No, this phone right now is on airplane mode. So let's hear, let me see where my machine is here. Let's hear what we can't hear. This is an acoustometer, and I'm just here in the parking lot. Let me just show you. Look, I'm in the front bay parking lot. It's ocean behind me. Put the windows down, get some air. It's ocean behind me, as you can see. So there's no one going that way. And there's just the bayfront here. Okay, there's cell phone towers. I'm sure I can't see them right now, but I know there's ones about 100 feet right past that because they're huge. And they're all over the place. There's probably like, I don't know how many cell towers in here, but there's a lot. And this is all wireless transmission. So let's put my bionic ears on right now. And remember, do you live in a digital mind prison? Well, you just don't know you do. It's because, I'm going to turn this on. This is a coronet. Okay, that's called an electrosmog meter. And I have these on recommended products at Earther Academy through Amazon. So I'm going to turn this on. And I'm way away here. Wait until I go inside if I was going in there. Like I said, watch my other video and I go on a tour. Listen to that. Okay, you guys' heads are turning around over there. Yeah, I know, it's loud. This is in my car. This is what your mind cannot hear. Do you think you can sleep good through that? Okay, put this thing on for the day on your body. And no one will want to be around you. Why? It's because you're noisy. No, this is what it sounds like around us all the time. So this won't hit home to you unless you have one of these meters. How much of this mind prison is swimming around where you live? Are you bringing it into your house? Wi-Fi? I only use hard lines. Listen to that noise. Okay. And I can point to the tower. It's right over there. Right there. Look at that. Wow. Okay. So again, I'm going to shut this off. Oops. Need 3 fingers. I'm going to shut this thing off, but you can hear. Now, if you could hear that in your head, just to let you know, remember, rethinking reality. Do you live in a mind prison? Well, if you could hear that noise, then what do you think? Do you think that you would like that when you sleep? Do you think that you could even sleep? Remember, your cells hear that. It's bzzz, okay? You remember, your body runs on a sine wave. It goes up and down really smooth, not a chopped wave. That's not natural. So anyways, do as you wish, guys. But all I can tell you, and I'm also testing a lot of these cases, which a lot of the cases I've been testing, they're all garbage. Why are you even buying them? And you think that they work. I'm going to show you. again, these are all future videos, and not only the case that's garbage, but if you did buy one of those and got sacked because they don't work as good as they say, they do just with this little pinpoint, but they're not, is the way I want to have it, effective. You're still going to put that thing in your pocket. It's still going to radiate your gonads. Okay, you're going to put that up next to your head now because it's got that little thing, that little case that says it's supposed to be safe? Really? Really? Watch what my meter says. Okay, it's not safe. No, it's not. So we can upgrade, enhance, and optimize that piece of equipment, and or I can show you some other ways for just a few pennies to be able to shield yourself from some of this wireless. Remember, it's the wireless that is unsymbiont to our relationship biologically and physiologically and mentally and emotionally. It is not symbiont. How could it be? Remember, you don't have to be a college major. You could go ahead and be a simple person and just know that the human body and all natural things run on a sort of like direct current. It doesn't, okay? It runs on a different type of currency. Currency. What does that mean? Remember, you got money in the bank, that's currency. And if you got money in the bank, well, it means you've got some flow, right? Some cash flow. So, anyways, and if you've got energy, okay, in the air, this currency, because that's all it is energy. And if this energy that's non-symbiont to your currency, your biological currency, remember, has a light bulb. Just put out a video called The Light Bulb Experiment. And your job is to become illuminated like that light bulb. And that means you're going to have to be conductive. It means you're going to have to feed this primal body what it needs. This is a primal body. This is a beyond spiritual mind. It used to be spiritual. That was just breaking out of the box, okay, the mind prison. And now, of course, it's beyond spiritual. It's interdimensional, trans-dimensional, and you can say also ultra-dimensional, just different layers of things that cannot be explained. How about that? But anyways, okay, it's really simple to learn that the brighter your light becomes, then the more illuminated you become, the more you can decode this place. You can decode this place. And if you can decode this place better, that means that you may make better decisions based on your illogical decoding previously. Remember, everything is in code, isn't it? A lot of people's names are in code. A lot of people's names. They call that gematria, right? Okay, what is that? That's taking words, phrases, and seeing the numerology that they create. Okay? And there's a lot of cool symbology if you look up gematria. A lot of people talk about it. Why? Because there's codes behind words. Words have meanings that are not the meanings that you use them as. Remember, most of our language came from another language. Not most of it, all of it came from another language. But this language of Babel that we, of course, know how to translate back and forth is only because we feel we understand the words that are defined as we are told. Okay, Mark Passio talks a lot about this too. It's called etymology. It's just a study of words, where their true meanings come from. And there's lots of words, and there's lots of words that have other meanings, but there's also lots of words that have what's called numerology meaning, like maybe 33 or 666. Those are sort of like, as you can see, maybe the third of the fallen angels, the 33, and the other systems here that actually, through their names of decoding, then you can see possibly some of the theater, some of the game. And it is a big theater, isn't it? It is. What a theater. And everybody's dreaming a different story. Remember that. Everybody's got a good story. It could be a story of suffering, a story of secrets, a story of sin, a story of sacrifice, a story of stupidity. All right. Yes, that's true. A story because you're under the spell. Okay, a story because you're waiting for a savior. A story because, well, Satan wants you to be in fear. Okay, fear, doubt, and uncertainty. The story of good and evil. Remember, a lot of good stories. A lot of good stories to learn from. You can even learn from the three little pigs. Don't kill anybody over what you decode through the story. But then again, it is a story, and your perception, your decoding pattern, the amount of translation that you can give this text and or beyond the text is, of course, well, part of you becoming more human. There's a lot of good story in films. And if you watch films over and over again, your mind will think behind the entertainment part of the film. You will catch ideas, ideology. You will understand deeper layers, as long as, of course, you're using the digital interface as a tool to learn. And if you use the digital interface to waste your time, then again, God have mercy on your soul. You only have so many breaths, guys. I'm at 550 million breaths so far. And like I said, I've done a hell of a lot, and a heaven of a lot of stuff. I have. And you know what? Again, I see most people my age, and they're waddling. They got crutches. They're not really doing too good. Okay, again, study the terrain, modification, protocols, practices, and principles, and learn how to navigate the chessboard. Learn how to become a different character than the character that you don't even like when you look in the mirror. You don't like the person that you see in the mirror, do you? Look at yourself in the mirror for 5 minutes and just smile and look at yourself. Look inside your eyes. Look inside your mouth and look at the genius of the tongue. Okay? Flare your nostrils. Breathe a few times. Look inside your eyes. Look at your face. Remember, it's you. Don't run from yourself. And don't look away when you don't like what you see. Remember, you can sculpture anything you want to be. Anything you want to be. Looking at a couple of people right now. Funny. Purple hair, brown hair, probably 250-pound linebacker. And, I don't know, short hair. And we're talking, well, not a guy. But then again, remember, we're all playing a character that we want to play. Play as you want. No one's got judgment. But then again, if you're overweight, remember, that's category 2, parasite, body fat. Yeast, mold, fungus, candida, or the creature that eats sugar. So learn how to tame that demon down. Again, the digital interface is completely, in my opinion, dysfunctional with the biology of insects, the biology of any living organism, including plants. All you got to do is see what kind of things live around your Wi-Fi station. Okay? A cell phone tower. Put a plant next to your Wi-Fi and see what happens. See if you can sprout some seeds next to your Wi-Fi. Do that experiment. I've already been there, done that. Yeah, see if you can go ahead and take some eggs and buy a little hatchery. They're like $20. Okay, where you put an egg in, and it's going to go ahead and keep a certain temperature and roll them around and stuff like that, and see if those eggs will hatch next to the Wi-Fi. Check it out. Okay, remember, it's your experiment to go ahead and see these things. See if you get a couple of mice, young, and young. I'm talking just away from mom. They're eating on their own, and get a male and a female, and put them next to your Wi-Fi, and see if they'll breed. And then take 2 mice and keep them at least 100 feet away from that thing, 30 feet away if you want, but then again 100 out of its range, and see which one has babies first, and or even if they have any babies at all, the ones next to the pulse technology. Remember, it's your experiment. I've done a lot of experiments growing up, okay, in my 20s with mice, feeding them McDonald's, feeding them Coca-Cola, feeding them fast food, the foods that we eat, and see how they do. See how they, well, get sick, and see if they replicate like the ones that I, well, feed a variety of natural raw foods. Anyways, if you haven't seen the Pottinger experiment, you should look that up. The body does need free electrons. It does need electrons from your food. Remember, when you eat a piece of steak, guys, if you're having it, or a piece of fish or anything, if you cook it, you denature the minerals. Excuse me, denature the proteins, and you're killing the mitochondria. You want to eat that stuff as raw as you can and make sure it's as clean as you can get. Okay? It's because you're swapping energy and you're eating mitochondria from other living organisms, which of course will rebuild your organism. I don't care if it's a plant that's living. It could be an animal that has still living mitochondrial tissue in it. Okay, because that's how you get more muscles, is you need to stimulate your mitochondria. Yes, you do. And you can stimulate it a number of different ways. But then again, guys, we are energy producers, but we only produce energy from something that we steal it from or borrow it from, whatever way you want to look at it. See, I borrow energy no matter what I eat, and I borrow that energy from another living thing, and I put it into my church and my temples. Since I've aligned them, I'm going to do something very positive for the realm, because I'm exchanging energy, and I'm going to take that energy and put out energy. I'm going to speak, maybe. I'm going to create. I'm going to plant in my garden. I'm going to do things that are good for this place. Okay, so again, if you're under the digital spell, that means you're not doing squat, just to let you know. You're not doing squat. You're not doing anything. No, you're not. Okay, what are you doing? It's mind control. Remember, what did you do today versus what did you think about or feel about today? I don't care what you said. I don't care what you felt. Did you do anything constructive for yourself? Did you do anything constructive in this physical world for yourself? If not, you're under mind control of the digital prison. End of story. Remember, and this is a silent assimilation system. The higher frequencies, the more you're under the spell. Silent, slow, seamless assimilation. A lot of S's in there. Look at the beautiful, beautiful birds, mockingbirds. Ah, he ran away. Okay, it's time for me to put my protective, check it out, my protective silver gear on. Why? Is because I said, if I lose my testosterone, that means that I will get sick. I will get fat. I will get depressed. I will age faster than I'm supposed to. I will go ahead and be a complete mess by being castrated from testosterone. And I'm a man or a male. And if you're a female and you get castrated from testosterone, the same thing happens to you. You lose your level of, called graduation, of being a biological female or a biological male, and now you have scrambled DNA, because the hormones are what are shaping you, your hormones. Remember, the pheromones that men smell, pheromones are like what the insects smell, or the dogs smell, or any mammal smells. It's a pheromone from the female. And that female produces this pheromone in relation to mating. And if the boys, the insects, the fish, even the earth humans can't smell this pheromone, and it's an invisible smell, okay? You can't smell it, but it sure excites you. And if you can't smell this pheromone, then guess what? You don't want to mate. At least with the opposite sex. No, you don't, because you're not being attracted. The bee is attracted by the pheromone of the flower. Yes, it is. Okay, and it shares, okay, itself with the flower only because the pheromone said to pollinate it. Everything that has pheromones has a activity to it that makes things do things without them knowing it. So if I take away your pheromones, guys, then what happens? Then you do not do a lot of things naturally. Okay, and that's just the way it is. So if the females don't make pheromones, and that can be caused by many things, okay, but your hormones, basically, if they're disrupted, because you're supposed to have a blend of testosterone and estrogen in both boys and girls, or males and females. So anyways, it's just the way it is. And if you're overweight, remember, and you got cheese on your body, okay, and your skin has all that like cheesy stuff, that's because you got high estrogen. If you grab your your boobie there, and if you got man boobs, you got high estrogen. Okay, if your gonads are smaller than a medium-sized chicken egg, guys, for a guy, I don't care what size you are, medium-sized chicken egg. Okay, your gonads are supposed to be that big, and girls, yours are supposed to be too. Not supposed to shrink up to the size of a nickel, because that means they're not working. And that means that you've polluted yourself in a certain way, and not only that, but you're assaulting yourself in a certain way that you don't know about. Because the last thing a man or a real male wants to have is chiquitos cajones. Is because if you lose your cajones, guys, you know what? You lose your cajones. You lose your courage. You lose your drive to create. You lose your drive to procreate. You lose your drive to just be physical. So when you lose your testosterone, you lose your physicality. And when you gain estrogen, then you have mind control. Okay? Mind control, because all you do is feel. You're just thinking with your mind, and you're not doing anything with testosterone. Like I said, if you don't have testosterone, you're not doing squat, guys. You're not. Same goes with girls. Okay? Anyways, all right, enough, guys. You heard the mind prison. Okay, like I said. And if you think you can live in this, and it's only because you can't hear it. Because if you could hear this, like I said, you'd be running away from it. Because it'll drive you nuts. Drive you bloody nuts. Like I said, if you kept this in your house all day, and you kept it next to you so you could hear what's around you all the time, took it to work with you, took it to the gym with you, what do you think is going to happen? Everybody's going to say, WTF, mate. What's that? Well, it's an electrosmog meter, and this is what your body can't hear, but it's what our cells can hear. Maybe your subconscious hears this too. That's why you can't sleep at night. Remember, the conscious mind's not that smart, is it? And don't say it is. No, it's not. If the conscious mind was smart, then it would see a lot of this spell. Okay, that's it. Time to go work out and do something. Yeah, I'm going to take care of my church. Yeah. Anyways, we have 10 people up at the Earther Academy Extension workshop for 21 days. And they're on our 6th day of fasting. So they're going to start parasite protocols on day 7. And they've gone through a variety of protocols now. Everybody's lost tons of swelling in their face. I mean, everybody's already lost a ton. Forget weight. You just lose a bunch of crap. Okay, and all you got to do is be in an environment that will let you, so you can unwind. We do yoga every day. We learn a lot of stuff, and you can learn a lot of this stuff on eartheracademy.com. Everything we teach you here at the retreat, I just can only teach you so much, but everything we teach you, okay, here, you can learn on your own. But it is nice to be able to upgrade, enhance, and optimize, dissolve, wash, and renutrify, reset, rebuild, and renew in person, and or with a friend. So anyways, guys, we will see you on the next video. Aloha, and again, get yourself a machine so you can hear the prison for yourself, and then do what you can to reduce the exposure of this. It's not only a mind prison, remember, it's an emotional prison. It changes the way you feel. And it's also a physical prison, is because your cells, they can't function with zzz all the time. And if you think they can, well, that's fine, guys. Like I said, your body transmuted and transcended more than mine did. Okay, aloha. We'll see you next time.